Welcome to Estate Planning Nightmares and How to Avoid Them. I'm John Braddock, the author of Click Here When I Die and the founder of My Life and Wishes, the Legacy Vault, an online planning and document storage solution created to make things easier for those you love. Hey, as always, I'm joined by fun guests. And I tell you what, the beauty of having my own show is I get to talk to the coolest people on the planet because that's my choice, because it's my show, right? So today, my special guest is Michael DeLon. Let me tell you about Michael. Michael is a #1 Amazon best-selling author and America's foremost authority on credibility marketing. He's helped countless business owners and thought leaders establish their credibility and grow their businesses. Business owners seek out Michael to clarify their message, make them a best-selling author. Yeah, you heard me, folks. Make them a best-selling author and help them set up a profitable podcast. They use this credibility marketing strategy to gain clients, get referrals, and grow their revenue. So since 2013, Michael has worked with business owners all across the US and internationally to establish their market and their credibility. Michael is a husband of one and father of four. He's a committed follower of Jesus Christ who is deeply involved in his church. You could normally find Michael investing his time with family, reading a great book, or facilitating growth in the lives of those around him. But today, we're going to talk about something deeply personal before we dive into his expertise. Michael and I first met via LinkedIn, actually. He found out about our Legacy Vault platform. He learned about how it helps families to navigate the challenges following the loss of a loved one. And the mission resonated with him deeply because of a personal experience he had. So, Michael, welcome to the show, man. It's great to see you again.
John, thanks for having me here. It's always good to be just hanging out with you. We're going to have a great conversation, but I appreciate the opportunity just to hang out and add some value to your audience and share some things.
No, I appreciate it. You and I connect quite a bit, and it's always a fun and lively conversation. So we'll
Absolutely.
try and not disappoint anybody. So,
Sounds
hey,
good.
as I mentioned, when we met, you were saying to me that, man, your platform, wow, blowing my mind, because you had an experience, I think, and I'll let you elaborate on it. I believe it was when a friend of yours had died. Can
Yeah,
you share some stuff about that?
absolutely. Yeah, I had just gotten home from a trip in Dallas, and so it was late at night. I was in bed, and the next morning about 7:30, I thought I heard my phone ring, and I got up and I looked at it, and I'd had a call from this one person, Millie, at 3:22 a.m. and then again at 7:24 a.m. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. She never calls me that early. So I had that feeling that something might not be right. So I picked up the phone and I called her. I said, Millie, is everything okay? And she said, Michael, Dave died last night. Dave's her husband. He had a massive heart attack, died in the bathroom. And I cleared my calendar. Now, Millie and Dave, they were friends for years at church, right? I knew their family, helped raise their girls through youth group, all of that stuff. And so I cleared my calendar and I went over and met with her and started the process of what do you do? And they had unfortunately not done any planning. And so I got to just walk with her for that first week as we planned the funeral, did the funeral, made all the arrangements, tried to figure out where all the finances were, all of that, and then stayed with her for a number of months. And I kind of nicknamed her my widow. And through that whole process, I realized this shouldn't happen to anybody. People need to plan for that ultimate day when we are going to be going home to be with Jesus. And so out of that, as you know, I wrote a book called Walking with Your Widow. Oh, you have it there. Look at
I've got
that.
a copy in my hand.
Isn't
Great,
that great?
great book, and I love the title.
Thank you.
Love the
Well,
title.
so the whole book is around appointing somebody, John, in your life so that when you die, who is your wife going to call? Who knows where everything is? So that your wife doesn't have to make really any decisions. She can actually grieve your passing during that process instead of trying to say, where's my 401k? Do I have to go back to work? What? Right? I had to walk through that with my widow and decided we're not going to make that happen. So that was the background. That's the story, and that happened 3 or 4 years ago. And we're still in touch with my widow, Millie. But it was a really interesting week that was filled with a lot of trauma, a lot of grief, a lot of decisions that could have been handled way beforehand.
Amen, brother. I got to tell you, the thing that people don't know until they experience it, right? So when someone dies, especially if it's your spouse, and especially for folks who might even be older, maybe they've been married for 30, 40,
Yeah,
50 years, right? That's all they know in the world. And all of a sudden that person's taken from them immediately. There are a lot of decisions to be made, but you know who has to make those? Someone else, because if you're the survivor, you don't give a crap
yeah,
about anything. You've just lost your best friend in the world.
yeah.
And how are you going to move forward? And God bless you for what you did
Mm,
and being able to step in and help. And everyone needs to have that because they're not going to be in a position to, where are all the bank accounts? How do we find? Is there a will? Where's the life insurance? They, they want to have grief, and so
yeah,
they need to help her to step in so
that's
that
right.
they can grieve and you can do that work for them. So just
Yeah.
amazing, just amazing.
It was an amazing experience. It really was. It's honestly one of the honors of my life that she allowed me to step in and walk with her and her family. And that just came through years of friendship and things. But to 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 not have a game plan, to keep calling people and say, "What do I do? Where's this? How about that?" It was a tremendous experience that I'm glad that you got your program that people can hop onto. And I just encourage people to be proactive, take some time, start the process today, because your day's coming.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the one thing we don't know, right? And it's probably a good thing that we don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
But we
Yeah,
hope it's not for a long time, but all too often we see it happen to our friends, our loved ones, family members, and
yeah.
so it's interesting walking with your widow, which is a great book.
Amen.
Um, you have a unique gift, right?
Mm,
So you experienced this, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, brother,
right.
um, but you experienced this, and you said, "I need to tell this story. People
Hmm.
need to hear this story." So
Yeah.
they get prepared. It's kind of like when I wrote my book, Click Here When I Die. It was about our experience and telling people, these are the things we need to be thinking about now. And she wrote the book, but you have a unique gift that I didn't have because you help people write books.
Absolutely.
I, I, I I'm out there on the big open sea by myself, getting tossed about, and and I know you've read a copy of a book, and you had said to me early on, you said, John, everybody's got a book in them.
Hmm.
Everyone has a story they want to tell. They're just not sure how to get it out. It's like my mother, that when I wrote my first book, and I have a few, but I wrote my first and I sent her a copy, she was like, my God, we couldn't even get you to read when you were
Yeah.
in school. It's like, how did you become an author, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so tell me a little bit about what you do in helping people get something from up here in their head onto paper so they can share it with the world.
Yeah. So we created a process years ago, and it's called Speak to Write. And we have professional writers who interview our clients, and through a very structured process of just simply interviewing, just like we're doing right now, we actually extract the stories, the content that's in your brain through conversation. We record it, and then our writers take what you have said, and we massage your words into your book. Um, it's really super simple. It's like having a conversation just like this. That's all it is, because you have everything you need inside of you to create a book, but understanding how to organize it, how to structure it, how to write it. Is that a comma or a semicolon? All of that, we take care of all of that. We just want you to show up and answer some questions from our expert writer who's an interviewer, and it's fun as doing this.
Oh wow! So yeah, so to really oversimplify it, it's just like having a conversation, and
All
with
it
you
is.
prompting me along the way. It's like, all right, well, what happened next? Well,
Yeah.
then what happened? And then you just put it in words, and I can go back to work while you're doing that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. We always, we always have a theme for the book and a title, and then we build an outline with you. So we know the direction of the book. We're all, we work with business owners. And so we were always asking you, all right, who's the audience? What kind of impact are you trying to make? What kind of influence do you want to have in their lives? And how do we help you create that? And really, John, the thing I find is most of my clients, they do have a story that they need to tell that they're not telling. And the story many times is why are they doing what they do? Or maybe it's how they do it a little differently than everybody else. But stories capture the day. I mean, movies, radio, songs, whatever. It's the story that connects us. And so we are really big about getting your story and then communicating that story through the pages of your book as you talk about estate planning or financial advising or whatever it is that you do. How are you going to
Yeah,
connect with your audience?
yeah, absolutely. Having a book and being an author, and again, don't get me wrong. I never thought in a million years I'd be an author and have books, right?
Yeah.
And so, in fact, I'm going to start working on a sequel or to Click Here When I Die. The
Hmm.
experiences now after getting that out there. But here's the thing: I didn't write a book to be like Stephen King or James
Right.
Michener or people ask me all the time. They say, "Hey, how the book sales coming?" And I said, "Well, man, I wouldn't have to work another day in my life if I die tomorrow."
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell my books
Right.
out there. I did them for a different reason. I did it because I wanted to educate people. I wanted people to be able to think through and understand the problems that
Yeah.
exist. And when I wrote my first book was when I was in the financial services world. And it was a very competitive marketplace. And that book became my business card
Yep.
because when you're in a competitive environment or you're trying to get more business or gain more credibility, how many people can say they're an author
Absolutely.
and provide them a copy of the book?
It's really it really is. And that, I mean, that's my story as well. And that's the story of hundreds of our clients because they're all in competitive environments and they're all saying the same thing, John. They all show up the same way. I say they sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? Because there's nothing that compels me to reach out to you unless you have your book, a podcast, really in our world today, it's influence of some nature. What's going to how are you going to amplify your influence to your target audience in such a way that they look at you as somebody they want to follow, learn from, connect with, and do business with? How do you
Yeah.
do that? And that's what our company is all about. We've created a bunch of really done for you systems, right? Our book process is really done for you. You show up, you give us the content, we do everything else. We create podcasts after your book. Well, we create the entire podcast and we just interview you on your podcast and teach you how to do podcasts. It's all done for you, right? We teach you how to do video. It's done for you. We do audiobooks. Everything we do because I work with really busy business owners. They want the influence. What they're really missing is the know-how of how do I create these different, I call them media platforms, right? You think of any influencer, Tony Robbins or Dave Ramsey. Why are they who they are? Well, they have media behind them. They have a book, they have a podcast, they have video on their website, on social media, they have audiobooks. That's what we provide. So we help amplify your influence. We create the media for you. You communicate your message to your audience. And when you do it that way, it just really starts catapulting your impact in your audience. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, I'm so grateful that you and I are becoming friends and we've gotten to know each other now, but it's like, man, where the heck were you like 4 years ago. I was trying to figure all this stuff out on my own, right?
Yeah.
Um, but here's the thing. So, hey, if you're an estate planning attorney out there and you've never written a book, and it's like, well, what am I going to write a book on? This thing doesn't have to be, 300 pages. My book's 126 pages, but you could write a great book, be about 50 pages long. And if I were an estate planning attorney, here's what it would be. It'd be here, and I don't know what I call it because I don't come up with a title, but you can figure it out. But it's like, everything you need to know before you write an estate plan
Mm-hmm.
or create an estate plan. And it would go through with all the important particulars, or here's a chapter on the perils of a DIY,
Mm-hmm.
do it yourself plan. And that becomes a marketing tool. That's how you get people, because people I talk to, even my own children who are young adults and married and stuff, it's like, you got to get your planning done. Like, God, I don't want to spend that kind of money. It's like,
Yeah.
just do it. But if you have that book, people who reach out to you, you can send them a copy of the book. You can send them an electronic version of the book.
Right.
It becomes your business card. I once had a mentor that I worked with who he was a carpet cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's probably one of the most connected human beings on the planet, and coaches Phil. But he started as a carpet cleaner and in Phoenix, Arizona. And a big shout out to Joe Polish,
Yeah.
founder of the Genius Network. But he was a carpet cleaner, and in his terms, a dead broke carpet cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how hard it is to clean carpets in the summertime and 120 degrees in Arizona.
Yeah.
And he was having trouble finding, getting people and clients. And so what he did, he wrote what he called a consumer's guide to carpet cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this, 2 or 3 page booklet, talked about all the things that people should know, but they don't know, misconceptions.
Yeah.
And he put on the cover like a sticky note that said, before you hire a carpet cleaner, read this.
Mm-hmm.
And he had people, stuffing these indoors and all these neighborhoods and doing this kind of stuff. And boom. Then he
Yeah.
ended up coaching carpet cleaners all across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Then he created Genius Network, and
Yeah.
he has hundreds and hundreds of people that
Well,
work with him.
right. And if you look at Joe, which he's a great marketer, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
followed Joe for many years. He did a book, but he also did audio. If you remember, he did the 800, the free recorded phone call. Call
Yes.
an 800 number and listen to, right? That was way back when. So he had a book, he had audio, and now you go to his website now, he's got video, he's got podcast, he's got all kinds of things, right? And I tell my clients that look at anybody like Joe Polish or Dave Ramsey or Suze Orman and all these icons, these brands that are just marketers. I'm like, look at what they're doing. You can do exactly the same thing in your local community. You don't have to be a national brand to have a best-selling book, a podcast, and some videos. But you look at, success leaves clues, right? Let's just go and look at Suze Orman's website and go, what is she doing? Oh, wow. She brands herself, right? I want to work with Suze Orman or Dave Ramsey or Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or Joe Polish or John Braddock.
Right.
Well, when you position yourself like that, the competition falls to the wayside. And
Right.
so what we do is, yeah, exactly what you're communicating is we help position our clients as that go-to expert in their little audience. They might be in Omaha, Nebraska. That's all they ever need to be. That's okay. We can help you dominate Omaha in estate planning. Easy to do. We look at what success has done, we model it, we create your media, you communicate your message, your business grows. It's a really simple formula, especially since we do most of the work. Anyway,
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So Because I've seen what you do and I've seen your books. In fact, a very good friend of mine who is down in the Austin, Texas area, a gentleman named Roy Snar, who I
Yep.
know that you know.
Yes.
He's a financial advisor, probably the one of the premier experts in the country on long-term care insurance and those things. I know. So you had interviewed me on your podcast a while back, and so I
Mm-hmm.
shared that with my audience. Within 20 minutes of sharing our interview on your
Yeah.
show, I got a text message on my phone from Roy, and he's like, "Dude, I didn't know you knew Michael. Michael wrote my first book for me."
Yeah.
And and his stuff has skyrocketed. It's just a
Yeah.
differentiator, right? It's
It really
you
is.
know, marketing and selling are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing is what gets people preconditioned, predisposed, and in a place to work with you,
Right.
and or I'm sorry, to get them in front of you face to
Right.
face. Selling is what you do once they're there, but they're already preconditioned, predisposed. And so, how do you get them there? And it's not through Yellow Pages ads.
It's not.
It's
Right.
through it's through a book, it's through a newsletter, it's through Instagram, Reels, those kind of things.
It's through podcast, right? It's through giving people time with you. And you and I are building a great relationship because we spend some time together, albeit it's on Zoom, but that's okay. But I think too much marketing is, hey, schedule a call with me today. Schedule, hey. And it's like, I'm not ready. I need to find out who you are. What are you doing in your marketing to give people the opportunity to find out who you are, right? Educate
Yeah.
them, give them a copy of your book, let them listen to some podcast episodes, have a video series about estate planning and the 5 steps to a great estate plan. Right? Have all of that before they ever talk with you so that when they schedule the call, you're right, they're preconditioned. They go, okay, I like John. I think he's a good fit for me. I don't know anything about an estate plan or how much it's going to cost, but I know that I need one and I want to talk with John because I trust John already. Never met him, but I've consumed his book. I've listened to his podcast. I've watched his videos. Now it's time for me to have the conversation and go, what do I do? That's an easy sale because you've done great marketing. That's how you connect the two. What I find, I mean, most estate planners, they don't want to be a salesperson.
No.
Good. I don't want you to be a salesperson. I want you to be a great educator, a great attorney, a great marketer. I think it was, I forget who it was, one of those, like Marshall McLuhan or somebody, years ago wrote one of those books. And he said, when marketing is done right, selling becomes less necessary. He had better words than that. But basically, he says it's not that you don't need to sell, but it's not quite as important when your marketing is done properly. Preconditioning is what it's all about.
Oh, exactly. It's funny, as you know, my background, was financial services, employee benefit consulting for 30 years
Yeah.
before life put me into the technology world. Um, and I used to have some of the CEOs of the companies who were good friends of mine when I'd show up at their organization. They say, "Hey, John, what are you selling today?" And my response was always the same. I said, Ed, I've never sold a thing to anyone in my life. I
Mm-hmm.
help people to make an informed decision,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it just makes it so much easier. So, hey, your website's awesome. You've got a lot of content out
Thank
there.
you.
And so what I would say, there's a couple of things, and then I'll have you share a little bit of information about it. Um, if anyone, if you're an attorney, if you're a financial advisor, if you're a notary public, and by the way, we work with a lot of notaries around the country. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a notary, how many notaries are authors? Become a and then take copy of your book to all those
Yeah.
estate planning attorneys that you want to do signings for, or real estate
Mm-hmm.
companies and loan closings. Um, so I know that on your website, people can schedule just a no obligation conversation with you,
Oh yeah.
just you know to chit chat, right?
Yep.
And trust me, you are a fun guy to talk to.
Thank you.
The other thing is, I saw something, and if I shouldn't mention this, then tell me not to.
We're
But I saw
I'm an
something
open
on
book,
your
man.
I saw something on your website talked about the credibility calculator.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. So I've had people for years ask me, what is credibility, Michael? And so I created an easy calculator. You go to the credibility or credibilitycalculator.com. You can take it. It's free. It takes 5 minutes. I ask 20 questions, and it's what do people look for if somebody says you're credible or not? What's their litmus test, right? What are they looking for? I've dialed it down to 20 things that people look for, and you fill it out, and I'll give you a score at the end of it, 0 to 100, and it'll be your credibility score. And then I followed up with, I think, 3 or 5 videos that come to your inbox that show you and teach you how to increase your credibility. Because most people who take that score somewhere in the 50 to 60 range out of 100. Okay, that's good. It needs to be better. How do you make it better? I'll teach you in the free video series. So that's what that is. The other thing on our website that's really cool is a book ROI calculator. Return on
Oh,
investment. So if you go to my website, paperbackexpert.com, and just go all the way to the bottom, just scroll to the bottom, skip everything else. And there's a ROI calculator. And basically it's got like 3 sliders on it, right? How many clients do you get average in a month? If you had a book, how many extra clients do you think you would get? And how much revenue is a typical client worth? So you just go in there and you list, move the little dots, and off to the side, it will tell you what your anticipated return on investment would be if you had a book. And I think that's a really fun calculator because people, I mean, you're going to invest in this as a business owner. It needs to provide a return on investment. In fact, we guarantee a double, a 200% ROI on your investment when you work with us. Because I know this works. I've got the marketing systems I'll give you to make money with your book. Okay, that's easy. But I want you to go to the calculator and see for yourself. If you got 2 extra clients a month, what would it do for you? What if you got 1 extra client a month? What would that do for your business every month? I published my book, on marketing back in 2013. I still use it today to gain clients, get referrals, grow my revenue. That's what we teach our clients is that long-term marketing influence with your audience. And when you go to my website, you'll see that I practice what I preach. Okay. I've got books, I've got audio, I've got video. We put them all together in a very structured process of marketing that's consistent and compelling. So
that, yeah, that's it. Excuse me. I mean, that's truly amazing. It's like when you wanted me on your podcast, what was really cool, and I know this experience, transferred throughout everything that you do. So you said, "Great, John. I'm going to have you on. Go to this link and schedule it." And so I go, I answer a couple of questions, I schedule it, and provide you the information you need. But then, over the course of the next 5 days, I got 5 emails from you with a video from you telling me exactly what to expect. And
yeah,
here's what we're going to do, and those kind of things. And I was like, yeah, I hardly know him at that point, and now you're showing me up on what to
yeah,
do. But what's so important about that is imagine if you're an attorney or you're a financial advisor, right? And someone is coming in for their discovery discussion with you, and it's a week from tomorrow. What if after they scheduled it, you as the attorney did a short 1 minute video with your face
mm-hmm,
saying, "Hey, thanks so much for scheduling an appointment. Over the next couple of days, cut videos. I'm going to tell you some things that we're going to talk about that you're
yeah,
going to want to think about when we come in, so that we're all kind of prepared to have a really solid conversation."
yeah,
Right? I
yeah.
mean, there's just so many tools. You're a
John,
brilliant guy.
well, thank you, but you just hit on something. So we actually have that program. It's a done for you program. Any estate plan, anybody, any business owner can call me. We create 4 videos with them, and they're very structured purposely. We give you an outline. We tell you what to say. We record it with you to do exactly what you said, so that every time somebody schedules an appointment with you, they're going to get 3 videos before that appointment. And if it's a Zoom meeting, when they show up to your Zoom waiting room, instead of having a blank screen saying your host will be here shortly, it's actually a short video of you talking. It welcomes them in. We create all of that for people. It's amazing. To do what? Precondition prospects to hire you before you meet with them. That process, John, is done for you. It's already in place. If y'all need something like that, just reach out to me. We've got it. It can be done in 30 days, and we got you. Yeah, it's an incredible program. We've been using it for over a year and a half in our business. We started letting other people do it, and we just guide you through it. We do everything for you, and we help you create the videos, and we get it installed for you as well. Because it is a great idea, John, but the attorneys are going, I don't have time for that. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to connect the dots. We take care of all of that. Done for you. It's amazing. So yeah, just I didn't know you, and you probably didn't know that we even had that service, but it's part of how do you influence your prospects to hire you? This is
Yeah.
one more way. Having a book, having a podcast, having a preconditioning sequence. I mean, that's what we do is help you grow your business by leveraging and amplifying your influence in your audience.
I love it. Yeah. See, I didn't know that you actually have that as one of the
Yep.
things that you do too. So, I mean, man, this has been, see, I'm even learning today, and I
That's
thought I knew
right.
everything. So,
That's what conversations are about, right?
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
hey, we're just buttoning up on our time here, and I'm so grateful, not only for your friendship, but for your time coming on here, sharing with our audience. Such a fantastic resource for anyone listening. I mean, just go check out Michael's website. It's paperbackexpert.com. I'm going to drop it in the show notes. You'll be able to link out to it. Check out the credibility calculator. Check out the book ROI
Yeah.
thing.
Calculator. Yeah.
And yeah, and I can tell you this, folks. Michael's just such an easygoing guy. Uh, reach out, schedule a phone call or something, or shoot him an email, and just see if there's anything that he can help you do.
Yeah.
Because we're all now, we're coming up on the holidays. 2025's knocking at the door, and let's do the things we can, whether we're a small business owner, an attorney, a financial advisor, a notary, whatever you do, let's make 2025 your biggest and best year ever.
Amen. Amen on that.
Mhm.
Thanks, John. Yeah, anything you need from me is at paperbackexpert.com. All those calculators and videos, download, ebook, whatever. There's so much information there because we really do like you. We want to educate people, right? We want you to understand who we are, what we do, how we can serve you. When the time's right, schedule a call with me. We'll have a great 25-minute. We call it a credibility conversation. And we just talk about how can we serve you to help you amplify your influence and grow your business.
Man, I love it. Thank you so much, Michael. And thanks you, our audience, for tuning into estate planning nightmares and how to avoid them. Hey, if today's episode resonated with you, you like it, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and share it with someone that you think might need to hear it. So until next time, and as always, remember, your life is your legacy. So plan ahead and make it a great day.